These people are amongst the greatest quiz players in Britain. Together they make up the Eggheads, arguably the most formidable quiz team in the country. The question is, can they be beaten? Welcome to Eggheads, the show where a team of 5 quiz challengers pit their wits against possibly the greatest quiz team in Britain. They are the Eggheads. And taking on the awesome might of our quiz Goliaths today are the E.E.G heads. This medically minded team of friends are regular quizzers at the Oran Moor pub in the West End of Glasgow. So let's meet them.
Hi, I'm Charlotte, I'm 25 and I'm a clinical physiologist.
Hi, I'm Iffy, I'm 28 and I'm a doctor.
Hi, I'm Christopher, I'm 23 and I'm a clinical physiologist.
Hi, I'm Mark, I'm 27 and I'm a doctor.
Hi, I'm Jamie, I'm 27 and I'm a clinical physiologist.
So Charlotte and team, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Hello.
And E.E.G is the machine you strap to your head, is that right?
Yeah, it's a number of electrodes that we put on patients' heads to measure the electrical activity in the brain.
And what does E.E.G stand for?
It stands for electroencephalogram.
So if you put on electrodes, you can actually see the brain power, can you? See
Yeah, we can see the different brain waves going along, and as a person's in a different kind of state, whether they're awake or drowsy or asleep, the brain changes according to that.
So if somebody collapses in the studio, you could zap them?
We could, yeah.
And if you were to put all of the Eggheads onto an E.E.G simultaneously, would Britain explode?
Probably, yeah.
Could you tell how much they know just from looking with your suction pads? Or
We could try, yeah. We could tell it was a brain there.
You could tell it was a brain. Well, I have wondered that sometimes, I must say. Well, good luck, and you've got the best team name, I must say. Every day there is £1,000 worth of cash up for grabs for our challengers. However, if they fail to defeat the Eggheads, the prize money rolls over to the next show. So, E.E.G heads, I can tell you that the Eggheads are on quite a streak. They've won the last 25. Which means £26,000 is yours if you can beat them. Okay? You can use any medical equipment you want to. Do you want to start?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
First head-to-head battle is on the subject of food and drink. Who would like this?
I'll take that.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah,
I think,
I'll
yeah.
take this
Okay,
one,
Charlotte, which Egghead would you like to take on? No Kevin today.
Pat or Chris, yeah.
Yeah. I'll take on Pat.
Pat or Chris, the two who look like they've eaten the least. Okay, Charlotte from the E.E.G heads versus Pat from the Eggheads. To ensure there's no conferring, would you please take your positions in the question room? Okay, I'll ask each of you 3 multiple-choice questions on food and drink in turn, and whoever answers the most questions correctly goes through to the final. The other person gets knocked out. And Charlotte, you can choose the first or the second set.
I'll take the first question, please.
Good luck. Buck rabbit is a Welsh rarebit topped with what? Charlotte, is it sliced carrot, poached egg, or strawberry jam?
I've never actually heard of that. I'm thinking it's more of a savoury topping rather than a sweet one, because Welsh rarebit tends to be a savoury dish. So I'm going to go for poached egg, because I don't think carrot would be very substantial for a topping, so I'm going to go for poached egg.
Good logic from the E.E.G team. Poached egg is correct. Should be poached E.E.G, shouldn't it? Okay, Pat, your question. What is the common name of the edible fungus Fistulina hepatica, a mushroom with a meaty texture and a red juice? Is it beefsteak fungus, pig's cheek fungus, or lamb chop fungus?
I think I've only heard of one of those. I think I've heard of a beefsteak fungus, so I'll go for that.
Beefsteak fungus is the right answer. Charlotte, the prickly pear is sometimes known by what other name? Indian orange, Indian gooseberry, or Indian fig?
I've heard of a prickly pear, but I've not heard of an alternative name for it. That's the only name I know for it. I'm going to exclude Indian orange just because it's a citrus fruit. And I think I'll exclude a gooseberry as well, just on the basis that it's a berry. I'm going to go for an Indian fig.
Very good, you're right. It's round, it's amazing. It's all the questions conjure up an image somehow. It's a well-written round. Okay, Pat, your question. What type of foodstuff is a poblano? Is it chili pepper, onion, olive?
It sounds faintly Hispanic, but that doesn't really make that much of a difference. The chili pepper is the most Hispanic of those three, but they grow loads of olives in Spain. I think I'll have to go for chili pepper, but it's just a guess.
Do you think he's right, Charlotte?
I'll say no.
No, he is right. Chili pepper is correct. So you're equal. Okay, third question, Charlotte. Which chef, known for his public falling out with Gordon Ramsay, was chef at the Savoy Grill when it achieved the first Michelin star in its history? Tom Akins, Marcus Wareing, or Alan Ducasse?
Don't know any of those names at all on there. I'm going to go for Tom Akins.
I'm sorry, it's Marcus Wareing. It is Marcus Wareing. I thought you were going to get it as well. I can sense a great quizzer there. Okay, let's see if Pat gets this one right. What type of dish is cousinette, whose ingredients include sorrel and spinach? Is it bread, fritter, or soup?
I haven't heard of this dish. Sounds French. Cousinette. But of those three, I don't know which it is, but I'm going to go for soup. Sorrel sounds most likely for soup.
The logic is good. The answer is right. Soup is the correct answer. Pat, you're in the final round. Sorry, Charlie, he's knocked you out there on food and drink. But don't worry, early days for your team. Please, both of you, come back here to the studio. So as it stands, the challengers have lost one brain from the final round. The Eggheads have lost no brains. The next subject is film and television. So which of you would like this?
Just Jamie?
Yeah.
Jamie? Okay,
Yes.
Against which Eggheads? Which brain?
Judith, maybe? Take on Judith, yeah.
Okay, I'll take on Judith.
So Jamie from the E.E.G heads versus Judith from the E.G.G heads. Would you please take your positions in the question room? I'm going to ask each of you 3 questions on film and television in turn, and if you get the most right, you go through to the final. And Jamie, would you like the first or second set?
I will go first, please, Jeremy.
Here we go. Rob McElwee and Helen Willits found fame on TV as what type of presenters? They weather, sport, or cookery?
Neither of those names ring any bells at all. I watch a lot of sport, and they're not ringing any bells with sport. I think I'm going to go down the side of cookery. I don't watch a lot of cookery shows, so I'll go cookery and hope for the best.
They're going to thank you for this. They're weather.
Oh.
All right, so first one wrong. Judith, over to you. Who starred as Guy Hubble in the TV series The Royal Bodyguard, first seen in 2011? Was it Robert Lindsay, David Jason, or Brian Blessed?
I didn't see it. I think it's Robert Lindsay.
No, it's David Jason. But if you didn't see it, then...
Well, it could have been anybody, couldn't it?
Okay. Jamie, your question. Who received his only acting Oscar nomination for his role in the 1974 film The Towering Inferno? Fred Astaire, Robert Wagner, or William Holden?
Quite confident it's not Fred Astaire, more of a song and dance man. Robert Wagner, I think, ended up playing number 2 in the Austin Powers films later on in his career, but I think William Holden was in Towering Inferno.
You know, this surprised me and I wouldn't have got it, but it's the one you ruled out first.
Oh, no.
What was Fred Astaire doing in that film? Anyone know?
He was a sort of an aging, bit of a con man.
Aging con man. Did he do any dancing at all?
No.
I don't recall any, no.
No, he didn't.
Didn't do any?
No.
So it was Fred Astaire, and he didn't do any dancing. Judith, your question. Who provided the voice for Kermit the Frog in the film The Muppets, released in the UK in 2012? Was it Tyler Bunch, Matt Vogel, or Steve Whitmire?
I haven't heard of any of those. Well, I didn't see it either, and I certainly didn't read the cast list. So we go down. My daughter is called Whitmore, so I'm going to guess at Steve Whitmire.
And you have the right answer.
No, good for her.
The Keppel method, which is to go down the right, has worked. So Judith is in the lead. Jamie, you've got to get this one right. Jo Warne was the first actress to play which character in EastEnders? Peggy Mitchell, Dot Cotton, or Pat Wicks?
I'm fairly certain Dot's always been Dot Cotton. And Pat Wicks. Is Pat Wicks originally Pat Butcher's name? I know Peggy's been played by someone before Barbara Windsor did, so I'd go Peggy Mitchell, but again, not EastEnders fan.
So your answer is?
Peggy Mitchell.
Peggy Mitchell is correct, Jamie. Well done. Okay, so it's one each. And Judith, if you get this one right, you're in the final round. Who did the actress Rita Wilson marry in 1988? Was it Kevin Costner, Tom Hanks, or Michael Douglas?
1988. I think it might have been Michael Douglas.
Good guess. It's not Michael Douglas, it's Tom Hanks.
Uh-huh.
So you're equal on 1 point. After 3 questions, we go to sudden death. Jamie, well done there. It was touch and go for a minute, but Judith saved you. And it gets harder because I don't give you alternatives now, okay?
Yep.
Which British comedian wrote the episode of The Simpsons called Homer Simpson, This Is Your Wife?
I'm confident Ricky Gervais got to write an episode. I'd say Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais is the right answer. Well done. So now you're on the ropes, Judith. If you get this one wrong, you're a goner. Who starred as Balian in the 2005 Ridley Scott film Kingdom of Heaven?
I've no idea. Russell Crowe.
Not Russell Crowe.
I don't know.
I don't know why I laughed, because I would have guessed as well. Your answer is Orlando Bloom. So well done, Jamie. You're in the final round on Sudden Death. How about that? It was touch and go for a while there, wasn't it?
Yes.
So you overhauled Judith. Judith, you've been knocked out on a combination of Michael Douglas and Orlando Bloom. Please, both of you, rejoin your teams. As it stands, the challengers have lost 1 brain, but the Eggheads have also lost a brain from the vital final round. And the next subject for you is music. So which of you would like music?
Sure, definitely Chris.
I'll take a hit.
Chris? Okay, against?
Chris, I think. Chris versus
Chris on Chris. How do you feel about that, Chris? Happy? You look happy.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I don't mind at all. As long as it's not modern rubbish and rap and
Fingers crossed.
classical stuff, I'm all right with.
Okay, so we'll go Christopher from the E.E.G. heads and Chris from the Eggheads. Please go to the question room now. So you're still studying, Christopher?
Yes, due to finish very shortly, yeah.
I gather it's very hard work.
It's hard work trying to sort of juggle working more or less full-time and studying sort of full-time degree. They're both technically full-time, so it's a chore, but it's kind of rewarding, I suppose, at the end of each semester.
It's clinical physiology you're studying, so what do you become at the end of that?
Clinical physiologist.
I should have guessed that, shouldn't I? Okay. All right, there's no answer to that, so I'm going to ask each of you 3 questions on music. Let's see how much music you're listening to while you do your clinical physiology. Do you want to go first or second?
First, please.
Here we go. Your first question, Christopher, good luck. Who had a UK #1 single in 1985 with 19? Is it Adamski, Glenn Medeiros, or Paul Hardcastle?
The only one I've heard of is Adamski. Maybe Glenn Medeiros. I think I'm just going to go with my first instinct, go with Adamski. It's the only one I've heard of.
It's actually Paul Hardcastle. Paul Hardcastle. Okay, Chris. In March 2012, which 2011 X Factor contestant released a version of Seven Nation Army, originally a hit for the White Stripes? Is it Marcus Collins, Stacey Solomon, or Rebecca Ferguson?
The only name I recognise there is Stacey Solomon, so that's what I have to go with.
Stacey Solomon is wrong. It's Marcus Collins. Okay. Christopher, who wrote the opera Louise, which received its premiere in Paris in 1900? Saint-Saëns, Charpentier, or Massenet?
Only one I've heard of there is Massenet, so I'm going to have to go with that one, I think. Complete guess, but...
Okay, Massenet is wrong, though. Anyone know on this side, Eggheads?
Carpentier.
Carpentier or Charpentier, do we say?
Charpentier, yes.
Charpentier is the answer. Christopher, over to the other Christopher. Commerce Street, Montgomery, Alabama is the site of a museum dedicated to which country star who made his professional debut in the city? Is it Gene Autry, Jim Reeves, or Hank Williams?
Gene Autry was the singing cowboy. I don't think he came from Alabama. Did Jim Reeves, or was it Hank Williams? Jim Reeves died quite young in a car crash, as I remember, so there might be, given the American ghoulish obsession with death, a museum to him. I think he came from down south somewhere, so I'll say Jim Reeves.
Nope. It's Hank Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Hank Williams. Christopher, this is, I think we could call this fairly not a high-scoring round so far, but it can change. What was the title of Paul McCartney's album released in February 2012? Tickles on the Tum, Bumps on the Bonce, or Kisses on the Bottom?
Well, really doubt it's Kisses on the Bottom. It's a bit of a kind of silly title. Same with Bumps on the Bonce, but then I wouldn't really put it past them. Tickles on the Tum. No, I think I'm going to go Bumps on the Bonce down the middle.
The answer is actually Kisses on the Bottom, not Bumps on the Bonce. Okay, Chris, see if you can give the E.E.G team a bump on their bonce. Which country has a national anthem whose first line translates as Land of Mountains, Land on the River? Is it Austria, Romania, or Switzerland?
Well, Austria, they use the same tune as Deutschland, Deutschland über alles, the Emperor's Hymn. Switzerland is a land of mountains, but it's not on any real rivers. But given that Romania's on the Danube and also has mountains, I'll have to say Romania.
It's not Romania. Anyone know on the Eggheads?
Switzerland.
No. Austria is the answer. So we go to sudden death. It's been a lingering death so far. This is an unusual situation. Let's see if somebody can get one right. Christopher, I'm not going to give you alternatives. It gets a bit harder. Mr. Mojo Rising was a nickname of which US singer born in 1943?
Pass.
Eggheads?
No.
No? Nothing from the Eggheads? Chris? Anyone know?
Is it Jim Morrison?
Jim Morrison, wow, Jamie. Because it's actually, do you know why?
No, I know a lot of the Doors songs, and I know it's one of the main lines that repeats over and over again in one of the songs.
Exactly, and it repeats over and over again in LA Woman because it's an anagram of his name. So that's apparently why he was called that. Mr. Mojo Rising, Jim Morrison. Okay, Chris, your question. If you get this one right, you are in the final. Who wrote the musical Bittersweet?
Noel Coward.
Noel Coward is the right answer. Sorry, Christopher, you've been knocked out. A long and bitter battle. Chris is in the final. Please, both of you, rejoin your teams. So, as it stands, the challengers have now lost another brain. 2 brains in total. The Eggheads have lost 1 brain from the final round. The last subject is history. So, which of you would like history?
We're thinking Mark, he's been sorting out a wee bit. Yeah.
Mark, okay. don't get up your shit.
Yeah.
Against which Egghead?
So I'm kind of liking the way Daphne's smiling at me, so I'm going to go for Daphne.
It's a very frightening smile. Okay, Mark from the E.E.G heads and Daphne from the Eggheads, please go to the question room now. Good luck in this round. I'm going to ask each of you 3 questions on history in turn. And Mark, would you like the first or second set?
I'll take the first, please, Jeremy.
Here we go. Good luck to you. In a medieval monastery, what was the name of the room set aside for writing? Was it a refectory, dormitory, or scriptorium?
Well, looking at the 3 answers, dormitory looks like obviously somewhere you're going to sleep. Scriptorium from script, meaning to write, and refectory, that looks like somewhere you would probably reflect upon yourself or pray. I'm going to go for scriptorium, please.
Exactly right. Scriptorium is correct. Daphne, what was the real first name of the man known as Wat Tyler, the leader of the Peasants' Revolt? William, Walter, or Wallace?
Gosh. Out of those, I don't really know, but I would guess Walter.
Walter is right. Mark, over to you. Who was the father of the Roman Emperor Caligula? Was it Gallius, Britannicus, or Germanicus?
Well, it definitely ends in us. So, Britannicus, the Emperor Caligula. I'm not 100%, but for some reason in my head, Germanicus rings a bell. But I'm going to go Britannicus.
Oh, the bell should have been louder. Yeah, that was Germanicus. How tantalizing is that? I could hear the Eggheads here just mumbling about Germanicus, which is why we knew you'd gone astray. Okay, Daphne, what was the name of the promise made by Germany in 1916 that they would give adequate warning before attacking merchant and passenger ships? Was it the Dorset Bond, Sussex Pledge, or Kent Agreement?
Oh, never heard of it. Since I come from Kent Agreement.
is wrong.
It's Sussex Pledge.
Chris will know this.
Yeah, I think it's the Sussex Pledge. After there'd been a great outcry after they sunk a ship called the Sussex. And I think a lot of auxiliary nurses or something were drowned. I think they made the Sussex Pledge after there'd been no sort of rerun of the sinking of the Sussex.
Interesting. Sussex Pledge is right. Daphne, you got it wrong. Okay, so even Stevens and Mark, over to you. What language was used by the Aztecs? Tulu, Nahuatl, or Choctaw?
I'm not sure if any of these are a language I'm familiar with, or if two of them are fictitious and one of them is real. My two previous answers have been down the right, so I'm going to go for on the left, Tulu.
You were going to go in the middle.
I was.
Barry will know because you've been an Aztec emperor, Barry.
Well,
you've been to the area of the whole excitement, haven't you?
Yes, I've been to Mexico.
Mexico, sorry, yeah.
Yes,
go on.
It's Nahuatl, and we all know at least one word of Nahuatl, because the Nahuatl word is avocado.
Oh, right. It's funny to have a language with a name you can't pronounce. Nahuatl is the answer, Mark. So, Daphne, if you get this one right, you're in the final round. Which French king was captured by the Black Prince at the Battle of Poitiers in 1356? Was it John II, Louis IX, or Charles V?
It was John II.
John II is the right answer. Daphne, well done. You're in the final round. Sorry, Mark. I don't know what to say. You were so close and pulled yourself away from those right answers. Both of you, please come back here and rejoin your teams. So this is what we have been playing towards. It is time for the final round, which, as always, is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So Charlotte, Christopher and Mark from the E.E.G heads, and Judith from the Eggheads, would you please now leave the studio? Iffy and Jamie, you're playing to win the E.E.G heads £26,000. Pat, Barry, Chris and Daphne, you are playing for something that money can't buy, the Eggheads' reputation. As usual, I will ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time the questions are all general knowledge and you are allowed to confer. So Iffy and Jamie, the question is, are your 2 brains better than the Eggheads' 4? And would you like to go first or second?
We'll go first.
We'll go first.
Good luck, guys. £26,000, you can do it. Ipanema is a region of which city? Is it Rustenburg, Rio de Janeiro, or Rawalpindi?
Well, I think there was a song called The Girl from Ipanema, wasn't there? And that was kind of sambish, I think.
I have no idea, yeah, I would go with it.
So I think I would say it's Brazilian, so
yeah.
Rio. So, yeah, Jimmy, I think I'll go Rio de Janeiro, I think.
Spot on, Iffy, you're absolutely right. Rio de Janeiro it was, and the logic was impeccable. All right, they have a point. Eggheads. Which hospital, now associated with spinal injuries, was founded in response to a cholera epidemic in the 1830s? Is it Stoke Mandeville, Harefield, or Guy's?
Stoke Mandeville.
Yeah, the others.
I think this is the well-known hospital and wonderful place, Stoke Mandeville.
Is a wonderful place. Stoke Mandeville is the right answer. Well done. Back to you, E.E.G heads. From 2002 to 2004, Roberto Mancini managed which Italian football club? Was it Lazio, Sampdoria, or Napoli?
I think I'm used to seeing him in the same colours as Man City.
I think Lazio probably.
Yeah. We're thinking with the images in our head of him in the same colour, sort of pattern he wears at Man City, which would be light blue and sort of white and yellow, which are Lazio's colours. So Lazio.
Yeah, we'll go with Lazio.
Lazio is the right answer. Well done. 2 out of 2. Okay, Eggheads. In 1975, Papua New Guinea achieved independence from which country? Australia, Malaysia, or USA?
Australia? Yes. All right, well, we're all agreed on this one as well. We believe it was Australia.
Australia is correct. Oh, this is a tight game. Okay, third question can often be crucial. A metonic cycle is a period of how many years? Is it 11, 19, or 23?
Tonic.
Instincts would tell me maybe 11.
11 would be my instinct as well, but
I don't really know why that would be. But,
yeah. It's a strange cycle to be going in such an odd numbers.
Yeah. We should go with our gut.
If anything, I would say 11 would be my gut, yeah.
I think we're going to go with gut instinct on this one. Is not really too sure, but 11.
Yeah.
Let's see if the eggheads know eggs.
I think it's 19.
How would we get 19 from Metonic?
It's the relationship between the sun and the moon that repeats over a 19-year cycle.
The answer is 19. 11 is wrong. 2 out of 3. Let's see what happens now. Eggheads, if you get this one right, the contest is over and your streak will continue, and I won't even call it a lucky streak anymore. Who wrote the 2012 novel Waiting for Sunrise? Is it Kazuo Ishiguro, Sebastian Faulks, or William Boyd?
I have no idea on this one. Ishiguro, that was The Remains of the Day, but I've not heard of a new one by him.
I have heard of him doing something recently. That's extremely vague. But he has briefly appeared in the press. Maybe he wrote a book, I don't know.
It might be. I've not heard of anything recent by Sebastian Faulks.
No idea.
William Boyd is quite a busy lad.
Yeah.
That's usually right, yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's extremely vague. It's simply that he was mentioned in the papers having not written for a very long time.
Vague things have generally been very helpful.
This could easily be wrong.
I'm happy to go for that because I don't know. So we'll go. I'll go with that.
Sudden death if it's wrong. So.
All right. Well, as you've gathered on this, we haven't really any idea at all. But on the vaguest of vague inklings, we're going to go for Ishiguro.
Your answer is Kazuo Ishiguro. I wonder if you challengers know, do you, by any chance?
I was going to go Ishiguro as well, so I hope...
So you got Remains of the Day and what was the cloning one? Never Let Me Go, that's right. Didn't write this.
Oh, it's William Boyd.
William Boyd.
Oh, sorry.
Let's see what happens now. We go to sudden death. I don't give you alternatives, it's that bit harder. £26,000 for playing for. The eggheads have tripped up. The Stone of Scone, also known as the Stone of Destiny, was moved in 1996 from Westminster Abbey to which castle?
Is it Stirling?
1996. I mean, it could be to do with the Scottish independence. Like, it could be Holyrood. Or,
it's not now. The Holyrood looks really modern. It wouldn't like it would fit in. I would say if it was taken from Scone Palace, I would say it would be moved back.
Should we go with that then? Yeah, I think just because of the name, we think we're going to go for Scone Palace.
The answer's Edinburgh. Okay, Eggheads, you have a second chance to take the contest. The substance camphor consists of carbon, hydrogen, and which other element?
That's not an element. It's a hydrocarbon. And, yeah, they tend to form bonds with oxygen, don't they? Yes. At the simplest levels.
And it's a fairly simple structure.
Yeah.
All right, we're not 100% certain on this, but we're going to go for oxygen.
Oxygen. What's camphor used for?
Insect repellent and mothballs. Moth repellent.
The formula for camphor is C10H16O. The correct answer is oxygen. Well done, Eggheads. Congratulations, you have won. Bad luck, challengers. You played a good game. Really interesting contest today. And the Eggheads have done what comes naturally to them. Your winning streak continues. I'm afraid that means you won't be going home with the £26,000, so the money rolls over to our next show. Eggheads, many congratulations. Who will beat you? Join us next time to see if a new team of challengers have the brains to defeat the Eggheads. £27,000 says they don't. Till then, goodbye.